one thing that will carry you for the whole journey of fitness. Greetings, my fellow warriors. This is your boy Mechanimal, the Silverback Gorilla. All day, I know a bunch of you guys have addressed the issue of being racial. It's all love here, no racial attribution to the gorilla. It's just all about majesty and power, and that's what we all represent here, Silverback Gorillas. So, all right, we put it aside. Back to the topic. Today, we're going to talk about one thing that will carry you for the whole journey of fitness. That's your dear friend, the most fundamental ability that you need to acquire, and it's called mobility. It's been overused at times. You've probably come across that word already, or that concept. Yeah, mobility is really important, and it's for two reasons. For one, it will help you with the quality of your workout. That means it will optimize your output by helping you going through the full range of motion, or at least the maximum range of motion that you need to perform an exercise in the safest manner. And two will be longevity, and longevity will mean helping you avoiding some freak accident. Let's say you by accident, God forbid, fall into a range of motion that you didn't intend to, and with a heavy load, yeah, mobility will be your best friend right there, because you've learned to control, that much load through the extensive and really far end of the range of motion. So that being said, mobility. So mobility, really important. That's the only thing that will help you train until you're 100 years old. It may be an exaggeration, but yeah, it is really true. And I focus a lot on the mobility. Some people are born, they are gifted with better mobility than other people, just as strength and everything. Genetics controls everything. But you cannot just limit yourself with the idea that this person has this, then this and this. You want to just know that you need that mobility. You need that mobility. I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to repeat it. You need mobility. So it's important for you to focus on increasing that mobility, because that will be synonymous of better gains. Exercises, for example, like the behind the neck exercises. You will be able to perform in the safest manner behind the neck overhead press, for example, and targets specific muscle in a more efficient way, giving them more attention if you had a mobility. Unfortunately, not everybody has the type of mobility, and they are restricted to just the front motion. This is a basic example of how it's done. Exercises like pistol squat with a poor ankle mobility. How far should I go? With a poor ankle mobility, you will not be able to get yourself, steady, control, and then drop yourself into a pistol squat technique. So you see, range of motion is great. That's due to a great ankle mobility. And anytime you could just rise up as a knight. That's a perfect example of how mobility is important. A lot of people can pistol squat because they have a very poor ankle mobility. Hip mobility comes in handy as well, but not as much required as the ankle mobility. Hip mobility will come second when it comes to performing the pistol squat. Of course, leg strength and all these variables comes handy, but first thing is mobility. That's the reason why a lot of people can't pistol squat. They may have the strength that goes with it, but the ability to get into that motion without be able to exert, the adequate power is the one that's lacking. And you have even exercises like a simple overhead press. A lot of people lack the ability to open up the shoulder and have that streamlined, motion. I mean, that streamlined what you call position, and they end up being crooked in positions like this when they're overhead press, just because they lack the mobility. So every human being should be able to have a way having the pelvis open your shoulder to the fullest and furthest range of motion. You know, it comes handy as well for the handstand push-ups. You know, the handstand hold, of course, and then handstand push-up. For the handstand hold, you'll be able to open your shoulder and then extend yourself into like a scapular elevation is the key for a good clean handstand. I'm still working on it, so it will be dumb of me to give you an example, you know. But for you to have like a picture, I will give you a downward or whatever they call in yoga, downward dog. So from here, you will need to have like to have the ability to completely open your shoulder in such ways for you to able to have like a good handstand clean, you know, line. Being locked in this position would not help you much getting that clean line and long-term sturdy handstand. Having the ability to open up in this position is gonna be key. Same thing with the bridge, that will help achieve this kind of thoracic mobility that's required to improve, you know, and open up the shoulder in greater ways. What else can I talk about? Basic squat, you need hip mobility, good ankle mobility as well. Be able to brace yourself and control yourself down in the motion. Hip is important. Then you have ankle as well. Military press, we went over it. Behind the neck pull-up, you know, because of the nature of the exercise itself, sometimes people need to go wider to be able to have the necessary mobility and range of motion to fully pull themselves behind the neck, you know. And for people with greater range of motion in that shoulder, they're able to have like a narrow grip and pull themselves up properly. So that's another example. So I could go on and on and on and on indefinitely, but I'm not gonna waste your time. So I'm just trying to let you guys know that mobility is really important for you to take your whole game to the next level. Your whole fitness journey will be based around mobility, the longevity of it, how long you'll be able to perform in a safe way and avoid injury. And then for the quality of the game, with better mobility, you'll be able to go through better range of motions and squeeze out the very single bit of gains that you could possibly achieve. So that being said, I'll let you guys go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below whatever else you guys would like to know about, and click the notification button. Like my shit. Yes, I insist that you like that shit. And last but not least, remember, everything is and will always be beast mode.